Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Tosin. I'm going to be answering a couple questions today. I got a couple emails from some people that just had some questions about certain real estate topics or whatever. So I'm going to go over those right now. The first one is, how do I feel about buying investment property in other states or in other cities? I personally haven't done that. But I have a really good friend who's done that. He just bought his second house out of state, I believe about 3 weeks ago. And I remember he bought his first house in 2011. We were only like 23 years old at the time. And he bought his first house in Detroit, Michigan in 2011. He found the house on Zillow. He was in my room on my computer looking at houses on Zillow. He found a house in Detroit for, I believe, $6,000. And he was like, yep, that's the one. He drove out there, he bought it, he put tenants in it, and he's been renting it out since. And then he went back there about 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, and bought another one. So I'm going to give you his experience and his take on it. And according to him, I'm going to say that it's a great idea. And the reason why is that the market that you live in right now, the real estate market that you live in right now, may not be the cheapest market. It may not be the most affordable market. So if you have a budget of, say, 15 grand that you want to buy a property for, and you live in New York City, you're not going to find anything for 15,000. You know what? There's even apartments in Manhattan that 15,000 a month can't pay for. You know, of course, that's definitely on the higher end. But so, you know, if you are working with a small budget, then you want to expand your market as far as where you're looking. Look in other cities, look in other states. You may be able to find investment properties that are on the whole other side of the country that can completely change your financial portfolio. I can tell you from experience, a lot of times when I'm wholesaling properties and I'm putting properties under contract, the property that we're actually putting under contract, the owner of that property, his home address will say he's somewhere far away. Like I remember, it was a property in Bloomfield, New Jersey. It was a 2-family. And so the purchase agreement, it has to disclose the name of the seller and their address. The home address for this guy was Houston, Texas. And this is for a 2-family that's in Bloomfield, New Jersey. So he owned this 2-family in Bloomfield, New Jersey, but he lived like 2,500 miles away. You know, so my friend that bought the houses in Detroit, what he did was he got credible, reputable property managers that managed the property for him while he was gone. He lives in New York. He bought the properties in Detroit. So he had the property managers would collect the rent for him. They would make sure the grass was cut. They would make sure utilities were paid. They made sure anything that you as a landlord would do, the property manager kind of steps in your place. You kind of give him power of attorney to manage your property. And so they do all the stuff that you would do if you were there. And the good thing about buying properties out of state, in my friend's case, is that for a total of $15,000 or $16,000, he was able to buy 2 houses in the span of 2.5 years. So, I mean, when you look at it, you can't be scared to make that kind of choice or to make that kind of business move. Just like I said in the video before, you're going to have the most success doing the things that other people are scared to do. My friend now is 26. He bought his first house when he was 23. If he would have had his money and stayed here on the East Coast and was trying to find things here, he would have nothing. Because with $15,000 or $6,000, you can't buy anything in New Jersey, in New York, in PA, in Connecticut, in Mass. You can't buy anything out here for $6,000 unless it's like, you know, burnt to the ground or something. So his portfolio would not look like what it looks like today if he hadn't looked in other markets to find property. So there's a lot of places in this country where you can get property for $5,000, $6,000, $10,000. And I don't mean, rickety, dilapidated homes. I'm talking about houses that are actually move-in ready, or houses that, maybe they just need, paint, or they just need new flooring, or maybe they just need a new roof. You can get a new roof done for $7,000. So if the house is 10 grand and you only have to spend $7,000 for a new roof, and you can be all in for 17 grand, and you can rent out this house or rent out this 2-family for, $1,000 a month, you're looking at getting all your money back in 17 months. It's a great return on investment. So states and cities that are good for that, Michigan is really good right now, Ohio, and mainly because their real estate markets are crap right now. Those states are going through basically what the United States went through in the 2008 real estate market crash. A lot of the houses, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just that, the mortgages on them sucked. They were subprime. Or, for example, in Detroit, they had, I believe, 80,000 residents leave the city in I think a 5-year period or a 6-year period. So that those 80,000 families that left, they left behind 80,000 households. Whether they owned them or they rented them, that's 80,000 households that are no longer being occupied. So if a bank still has paper on these properties, they're stuck holding the bag, and they're like, we need to get rid of this. And so, houses can go into short sales, or they can go into foreclosure, and a lot of times they'll bundle 10 properties together and say, hey, developers, investors, look, we'll sell you 10 houses at one time. We'll bundle it together for $120,000, and you can get 10 houses, for $120 grand as a bundled package from a bank. Those things are common, but you have to go to the markets where that's happening right now. And like I said earlier, you're going to have the most success where other people are scared to go. The people that are scared to venture out of town to go and find property somewhere that's 1,000 miles away or 2,000 miles away or on the other side of the country, they're not going to be your competition because they're scared to do what you're doing. So you can be a big fish in a small pond. You can rip that game apart because there's nobody else that's snatching up the inventory because everybody else is scared to do it. So if you want to ask me on my thoughts of buying property out of state, I think it's a great idea. I wouldn't say, you don't research the property first. You still do all your due diligence. You still run comps. You still find out if there's any foundation problems, roofing problems. You want to get a title search done to find out if there's any liens on the property. You want to do a walkthrough. You don't just buy a property online and send over cashier's checks and wire money to realtors without actually seeing the property. So you still want to do your due diligence, but after you do all of that, if it looks like a good deal, go ahead and buy it. Go ahead and buy it. It may just work out for you. It's one avenue to getting to financial freedom. It's not the only avenue, but it's a tool. It's one of many tools that you can use to get ahead, especially if you're new in the game, especially if you don't have a lot of money, especially if you're young. So it's definitely a good idea in my opinion. So I hope I was able to answer your question. See you guys on the next video. Take care. It's Tosin, Real Estate Equity Investment Group. You can check out my website, realestate-equity.com. And look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Take care.